Okay, let's go over this question. This one's really long, and I know a lot of people or a lot of students, maybe when they look at long questions, they're just daunted because they don't want to read the whole thing. But you know what? It could be a lot easier than you think because all you have to do is just, strip the parts of the sentence that are not pertinent, that are not necessary uh, to do the question. So let's look at this. Peter is not. Remember, always find the subject and verb, right? Subject and verb is Peter is not interested, right? Main idea, prepositional phrase, right? During the day. So you don't need any of this. Okay? So Peter is not interested. That's the main idea in doing this. However, at night, he often logs on to Edgemonsters to study cores, right? And this one is really simple because, look, you could, there's already a sentence over here, and this is an independent clause, right? I see, independent clause. And there's another independent clause over here. He logs on, right? You could take out the often. It's just an adverb, right? He logs on. So it's another sentence without, there's no comma over here. It's just simply a run-on, right? I see, I see. It's two sentences that are just combined, right? It's just, and they, maybe people, I've seen a lot of students, they think, oh no, it's because of the word however, right? You could do this. No, this is not true because however is what's known as a adverbial conjunction or independent marker word, meaning you could start sentences on your own by itself, right? And if you're confused about this, go check my lessons on sentence structures, right? It's actually fundamental sentence structures, and it'll explain to you why these two sentences are wrong. But that's why A is wrong, because it's just a run-on, two sentences that are just combined, right? What about B? Peter is not interested in studying chorus during the day. Same thing, right? However, at night he often logs on. So this is the exact same sentence, and all they did was add a comma over here, right? Except there's comma, comma. So what can we really get rid of? Okay, let's get rid of this. At night he often logs on. So we could get rid of at night. We could get often onto the system. So the main idea is what? He logs on. Okay, I guess the system, right? Same thing as Peter is not interested, right? These things, they're the exact same thing as A, except they put a comma over here. Except, however, it does not function as but. I know it means the same thing, but is what's known as a coordinate conjunction, right? Coordinate conjunction meaning you could combine two sentences with, oops, there shouldn't be a comma over here. You could combine two sentences with a coordinate conjunction, like fanboys, right? And fanboys are what? Right? Fanboys are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Right? These things you can combine two independent clauses, right? But with however, this adverbial conjunction, you need a semicolon, right? So that doesn't work. Okay. So it's the same sentence. What about C? Peter is not interested in studying the course during the day. Semicolon, really, really good. However, at night he often logs on to Edgemonsters to study the core system. So this seems right. Right? Let's come back to this though. D. Peter is not interested in studying chorus during the day. However, at night, same error. Right? Same error. Peter is not interested. Main idea. You don't need this. During the day, they just put some modifier phrase all of a sudden. However, and you could get rid of this because it's just simply a phrase, right? At night, he often logs on. Same thing. This time it's a comma splice. It's a run-on comma splice. They put two sentences together with a comma, right? What about E? Since Peter is not interested in studying the chorus during the day, is this a sentence? Yes or no? No, because of this word since. So this is a dependent clause. Peter is not interested. Yes, that's a sentence, but they give you what? A semicolon over here. So it's a DC, dependent clause, semicolon. If you check my lesson on sentence structures, there is no structure that has this. It doesn't exist. Right? Yes, I know this is a sentence, but there is no DC semicolon IC. No, there is DC comma IC. Dependent clause, independent clause. So that doesn't work. You're really only left with C. And what is the sentence structure of C? Peter is not interested in studying the course during the day. Okay, that's an independent clause. Semicolon, however, which is a adverbial conjunction or independent marker word. Right? At night he often, so this is another independent clause. So the answer must be C. This one is a toughie, but if you go over the basics of sentence structure, you could really work out all the errors in this one.